Yeah, welcome and thank you for attending if you're here. So my name is Paige. I am the newly appointed casting director of Left Edge Theater. I am also an artistic associate. I've been with the theater since 2016 as an actor, director, and I am the coordinator of this festival. So I was the one reading all of the plays, and then we read them as a group, but I was the one kind of organizing that whole process and putting together everything. So that's me. I wanted to start this hangout just by letting some of the Left Edge staff introduce themselves. And then I think just from there, we're gonna go show by show. We have 10 shows. One is like a special event outside of the actual production, and then 9 that will be showed on the dates that we have. So yeah, I just introduced myself, and I'm going to be directing Namaste and Slow Dating, which we'll get to later on in the meeting. But for now, I'm going to point to say, because I see your name first, Argo. Argo, if you want to introduce yourself
Sure.
as a member of the theater, yeah.
Hi, I'm Argo. I'm the artistic director. I'm also directing the piece Zoom with David Yen. And last year's Hindsight Festival is one of the highlights of an otherwise abysmal year of no live theater. And it was just wonderful to work with artists from all over the world and get to know you all better. So I'm hoping that we do something similar this year.
Thank you, Argo. Kimberly, since you're another Left Edge staffer, do you want to give a quick intro to who you are?
I'm Kimberly Callenber. I am an artistic associate. I'm the new development coordinator, and I passed my hat to the brilliant Paige. I started the company with Argo in 2015, and I'm in Slow Dating. So, and I'm excited with all the new playwrights and the writing and the acting. And this is a very unique festival that we do, because we can get to so many people that are not in Sonoma County. That's the fun part. So thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, and then we also have a couple other people who work on a lot of our shows. We have Joe Winkler in the room. He does a lot of our sound design. Joe's waving. I don't know, Joe, if you want to say something, you can. Otherwise, just you're done. You're good. We have Jenny in the room. If you want to wave, she was on the play reading committee with us, so she talked about all of the plays. And then she's on the board of the theater, directing our next show, Native Gardens. Let me see. Am I missing anybody? Sorry, there's a lot of screens. Argo, if you catch anything
Jenna.
that I've missed, please.
Jenna.
Yes, Jenna. Yes, this is a new. Sorry, Jenna. I have not met you in person. Right?
Okay. I'm the resident stage manager for Left Edge, newly appointed. So very happy to be here.
Yeah, so like Argo said, last year, Hindsight was a real highlight for us. We put out our call and got, I think, just about 150 last year. We got over 200 this year, submissions. Really fun for us to read and discover playwrights, and we're so lucky to have connected with people. We obviously sent the prompt out. We've connected with amazing playwrights last year. A couple of them made it into the festival this year, and if you're one of those playwrights, please say so when you introduce yourself. We've formed amazing connections with folks. So I think without further ado, I would love to just get into talking through each of the plays. So what's going to happen is I'm going to call off in order of how they will be shown. And the playwright of the show, if you could just introduce yourself by saying who you are, where you're from, where you're zooming in from. And then if you want to add anything about your show, like anything that was an inspiration point for you, a brief summary or something that, what it's about, or something that inspired you to write the show, that would be awesome. And then after each introduction for the playwright, I think because we're a small enough group, we can open it up for any actors or directors that are part of that production to identify themselves and to maybe ask a question if you have one to the playwright. This festival is centered on the playwrights. We are so excited to meet all of you. So yeah, I really want to hear from each of you. And with that being said, the first play that's going to open the festival is Performance Anxiety by David Lipschutz.
Hi, everyone. I'm David Lipschutz, he, him. I'm in Chicago. And I had the opportunity to have one of my plays performed last year in 2021 Hindsight, called Perseverance, or called Perseverance, depending on how you wanted to pronounce it. And the piece I wrote this year is called Performance Anxiety. And I wrote it based on the prompt that Paige had sent out with the notice for the submissions. Saying she had put in there something on the lines of, it could be Zoom based, it could be live theater, or it could be a combination of the two. And I was like, I want to do a combination of the two. I thought that'd be really fun to have Zoom on stage. And Pat, who directs, I'm sure he'll introduce himself shortly, but had an opportunity to speak with him recently. I had a great conversation. I explained this to him as well. My idea was kind of to turn Zoom on its head, that we all love that Zoom is an opportunity for virtual theater to continue, or for theater to continue to be performed. But we all are a bit tired of Zoom. And so I was like, why not do that and kind of bend reality with the Zoom performance on stage. And I love Left Edge. I think you're all wonderful people. And I'm so happy to be back here. Like when Paige told me that this was accepted into the festival this year, I plotzed. So
thank you, David. See, that's why I put you first. I'm just kidding. But no, honestly, fun fact though, David, like he was I think the only submission we got that where you really like went all in with that theme and created something that was like so out of the box of what I could have even imagined what a hybrid kind of play could have been. So I'm really excited to see. You already said Pat is the director of your play. Pat, do you have any questions or do you want to share anything about the show?
No questions. Super exciting show, and I'm also, having spent so much time on Zoom, talking about Zoom fatigue myself. I'm looking forward to turning it a little bit sideways and showing the darker soul that lives inside of everyone's Zoom meeting. When your Zoom window starts to do and say things that you are not doing or saying, that's when you know that you're having performance anxiety. I'll just leave it at that. It's a really exciting piece of work.
Yeah, and for everybody involved, if you're not, if you're far away from Sonoma County, Northern California, and you're not going to be able to see the play live, we will have recordings of all the plays. So if you're interested in catching it, the other playwrights' work, that will be available to you. To the second show of the first act, which will be And For Your Last Breath by Emily Russell.
Yeah, hi. I'm Emily. This is my first time working with Left Edge, and I'm really excited to meet you all and to come see the show. So I use she, her pronouns. I'm Zooming to you from the Bay Area. I'm here at Stanford getting my PhD right now, but originally from Michigan. And the show that I wrote is sort of based on my experience of moving to California. I moved in like late 2020 when the wildfires in the Bay Area were really terrible. And being from the Midwest, I've never experienced wildfires. Usually August is a really pleasant month there, and here it was kind of chaotic. And there was sort of all this existential anxiety about getting emails about like, you're going to have to evacuate because wildfires. Also, don't leave your house because be in isolation for COVID. So that was like a very confusing sort of entrance to California life that the play is sort of based on. But yeah, excited to be in sort of a different moment of COVID where we can share these plays together, and yeah, excited to see them all.
Thank you, Emily. It's really cool to meet you. I love your play. Jenny, do you have anything you want to say? We have our director here.
Yeah, hi Emily. I love your play. I was on the play reading committee. I want to say that all the plays we selected, I really liked all of them. The Performance Anxiety one was one of my favorites too. So I think we had I forget how many submissions we had, Paige, but it was an incredibly high number.
Over 200.
There was some task to whittle it down, but I love the ones we've ended up with, especially this one. I think this one I picked out because, you know, when we were choosing what to direct, I picked this one out because I had a son at Berkeley at that time, and I was down in the South Bay, and there were days when I was calling him, especially when the fire started, like, it's like, are you okay? Do I need to send you masks? You know, I kind of had some of these maternal feelings about my son being stuck in Berkeley and the fires getting closer. So that kind of resonated with me. But also because I love where it goes, you know, that I love the ending and how it isn't just bleak, and it kind of has something else. And my question for you, and I have an idea of my own, but my question for you is that it ends with a song, and I wondered if you had a particular song in your mind that you would ideally want to have at the end of the play. If not, I've certainly got an idea of my own, but I'm curious.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you. And thank you for directing the play. Yeah, so I think the song that I originally put in was actually one that makes me think of my mom, which is a Carole King song. It's called "You've Got a Friend," and my mom loves this album, and sometimes we play it when we're far. But I would love any song to be played, and I intentionally left it sort of open for whoever to interpret.
All right, I'll go back and listen to. I know that song, but I will go and listen to it again. I might communicate with you via email as well about that. That's okay. All right,
yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, and Emily, we also have your whole cast here. So we have Grace and Andy, if you want to wave at their camera, the two of you. And if you have any questions or anything you want to say, feel free to chime in. No pressure. I know there's a lot of people in here.
I wanted to just say, hi, Emily. It's really nice to meet you. And while I was reading your play that you wrote, it just reminded me of this very specific time, which actually this is kind of why I love this play. It's very like, all right, we if we lived in California, we remember this. We remember the New York Times like photos on the front of the paper and everything. But it reminded me of work. We had a state of emergency pay, and then once the fires happened, we had like state of emergency on top of state of emergency. And I worked with the regional center, so they were like, we've never had this before. So it definitely seems like a very a period in time that we all should kind of go back to and remember, and we might be visiting more of those times, in the future, and kind of how to psychologically prepare for that. Anyways, but I did actually have one question for you. I was wondering how long in your mind, just curious, like how long this couple has kind of been together, because they seem very committed and serious.
Yeah, it strikes me that they've been together, in the year range at least, like some amount of time that as young adults would be sort of cohabitating comfortably in the pandemic. Though I know that everyone has really different experiences with this. The pandemic sort of pushed a lot of people in quickly or took them apart. But yeah, I think in my estimation, like a year or longer, perhaps.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for your last breath, crew. Next, we have The Multiverse by Wendy Soroka. I hope I'm saying that right. I know you're here. I know we don't have your video, but if you want to, it looks like you unmuted. So, hi, Wendy.
Hi, I'm here. I have a really bad connection. Let me see if I can get... Hi there, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
One sec, let me try this other one. There we go. Can you see me, hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, there we go. I have a really bad connection up here.
Problem.
Just letting my other earbud in. There we go. Hi there, everyone. It's really nice to be here. I'm currently in the Bay Area. Sorry, I'm getting feedback. Okay, try that. And I live in Los Angeles. I have not been in Santa Rosa since I did SRT zillion years ago.
I thought you
So
looked familiar.
I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate you chatting, and no problem about the connection. I know we have your director here, but she had alerted me over email. So Emily is your director. I think she might be driving. I know that she is not able. Emily, feel free to interrupt me, but she had let me know that she wouldn't be able to talk, but she's able to listen. So quickly, Multiverse is, I'm kind of paraphrasing the plot line, but it's about two best friends and one of their, a long-term relationship and a friend. It's a very, what I thought was really beautiful about this piece, it's a very experimental and lyrical play about three people and their connections with each other. And just the way that it's presented and written is very presentational, but in a way that's, I don't know, I think is going to be a challenge and a really fun thing to see with our actors, what our actors and our director decide to do with it. And I know that we do have at least some of the cast here. We have Andrew and Angela. So yeah, thank you for waving to the camera. I don't believe Caitlin is here. So do either of you have anything that you would like to say about the play or ask? And it's totally okay, no pressure. I know Wendy's connection is bad too, so we can give you emails later and, no pressure. All right, I'm gonna move on. So next we have a play called Love from Space by Maxwell Plata. Max Plata, I see your name is Max on the Zoom. Sorry about that. Yeah, Max, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. This is my first experience with Left Edge. I'm based in Phoenix, Arizona, where I go to school at Arizona State University. Otherwise, I'm a playwright, stage manager, general theater maker. The piece I wrote is called Love from Space, and I wrote it actually as a class assignment, as sort of a love letter to my older sisters who had a huge hand in raising me when my parents weren't as available when I was growing up. And I wanted to kind of infuse my own theatrical sensibilities of like sci-fi and twinkly dialogue and big feelings into it. So yeah, it's really just for my sisters and for other people who have these family dynamics that are not quite traditional, but are very caring and sacrificial at the same time. So I'm very excited to see it staged.
I love that. That's so sweet. Thanks, Max. We do have your director and your cast here. So John, would you like to introduce yourself? Is the director? Oh, you're muted. Or wait, no, we still can't hear you, but you've unmuted, but.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yay, fantastic. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Max, for writing this piece. It's really just the sweet, kind of bittersweet relationship between the two sisters, and I'm super excited to direct. I usually act in shows, and so having this really small, sweet piece to work with, and to be working with Grace and also Kat as well. Kat is usually a stage manager for most of Left Edge shows and also 6th Street. And she does a fantastic job with that, and it is a great opportunity to have her finally on stage as an actor. So I'm super stoked about working with that, and also just the relationship between Kat and Grace as their characters on stage, and also just the possibilities of sound and space as this kind of apocalyptic world for what's really, really real to them. And yeah, that's all I've got.
Thank you, John. Kat and Grace, if you want to wave, I know we kind of saw you. If either of you have anything you want to say or add, please do. Awesome. Yeah, I think Love from Space was one of the first plays I read from the submissions, and it stuck out. When you're reading that many, if you read something early on, if it sticks in your mind later, that's like a really sweet thing. And that was this play for me personally. So those 4 plays are going to make up our first act. They're sort of the dystopian, science fiction, technology-centered plays. And the second act that we have are plays that, I don't know how else to say it, I guess, that are dealing more with humanity and like not, they're just strictly leaving out sci-fi technology. It's a more like human-centered plays. And we're going to kick that off first with Guten Tag Baby, which is written by Scott Sickles. I think I saw your name here. Yep. Yeah, there you are.
Hi, I am here. And hello, everyone. I am Scott Sickles, he, him. I'm coming to you from Forest Hills, Queens, New York City. And this is my Left Edge debut. And Guten Tag Baby was actually written from a prompt for the No Theater, KNOW, where they put out a festival where playwrights are to write a play based on one of 3 graphics that they put up. And this graphic was of this really sort of Art Deco neon diner called the You Drop Inn on Route 66 in Texas. And I saw it and I looked it up and I just started thinking about like, like how it's sort of like a midpoint in any sort of cross-country journey. And I was once in Chicago and took a selfie at the Chicago starting point of Route 66. So I thought, well, what about someone who is traveling all the way? And I ended up writing this story about a woman who is in her 70s and her memories are fading and she's becoming disconnected from her present and her past and her family all at once. And she has a daughter in her 40s who has never felt a strong connection to her father, who is no longer in the picture. And the You Drop In is where her mother met her father. And they're on a cross-country trip and they're stopping here because they want to, mom wants to be there on the anniversary of the day that she met her father, and they get there a day early. And there's a 3rd generation, non-binary, female assigned child who is in her is in their teens, and as in any family that's going through, or as in many families that are going through chaos, the teenager, the child, is the one who is trying to negotiate the peace the entire time. So I wanted to explore a lot of disconnection with this, and also like who are the best and the worst people that you meet on a journey like that, and what does a lifetime's worth of distance from an event do to it? And that's what Guten Tag Baby is about. The title came from a random. I know that there are a lot of German tourists, and a lot of places, like especially in the Grand Canyon, which is not too far away from there, stayed over, I think, is like a lot of the restaurants and whatnot have like menus in English and German. The phrase just came to me, and I wanted to incorporate it, and it became the title. So that's how that happened.
Thank you, Scott. I love that. Jasmine is going to be directing this piece, and she's here. Jasmine, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Pierce. I am also normally an actor with Left Edge, and I now live in Los Angeles, and was very, very excited to be asked to direct. And Guten Tag Baby was the first play when I was like, I just fell in love. I keep describing it as a tender play, but there's just so many bombs being dropped left and right that it's hard for me to explain why I feel that it's got such a tender like underbelly to it. And there's just so much going on, and it's just like such a special piece. So I want to say thank you for writing it. And I don't really want to ask too many questions because I feel like there's so much for the actors to discover in that crazy family dynamic. But I do want to say thank you, and I'm really excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jacqueline. We also have the entire cast here, which is great because it's one of the biggest casts of the selection. So we have Molly here. If you know, wave to the camera. I have Angela, Andrew, and Kat. So that is your cast for Guten Tag Baby. Do any of you have, if any of you have anything to say or add, please do.
I have a question, and I guess it would be for Scott because I know I wrote Jasmine about this and Angela. Could it, since I'm the Eleanor, could it all be in her mind, the whole thing?
No, it's not all in her mind. What's in her mind is the flashbacks, the past, the memories with that is in her mind, but what's going on in the diner in the present day is very much objectively going on in the present day.
Okay.
Because
my mom had my mom had, she didn't have dementia, but she had a stroke while she was having an operation on her heart. And she lost her long-term and her short-term memory. So when you'd go see her, like one day she said, my parents came last night and they want me to move home. Oh. So I was kind of like, well, maybe this just all takes place in Eleanor's mind.
That's interesting. And in this particular case, it's very important that the revelations that she, the secrets that she's kept, that she's forgot that they were secrets. So now she's just blurting them out. And it's very important that those bombs be dropped and that they land where they're in the real world where they're supposed to.
I'm good at dropping bombs.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I love that question, Molly. Also, as an aside, I have to just say, Molly, I don't think we've really met face to face as a young actor. I don't think so. I know, and as a young actor,
all the time, and I'm going, oh, there's Paige.
Yeah, as a young actor in Sonoma County, you were like somebody I always really looked up to watching you on stage. So I'm really excited to see you in this piece, and hopefully meet you in person because I'd love to make the journey home to see it. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next one. We have The God Part, which was written by Dana Leslie Goldstein. I don't know if I saw, did I see Dana's name? Yes, that's right.
It's actually Dana.
Sorry.
That's okay. It rhymes with banana. So first of all, thank you so much. I'm really excited about this, and I have an additional excitement, which is that I get to be in a festival with Scott Sickles, who I love.
We go way back.
Hello, but these, and I'm really excited. So my play, The God Part, is it's about loss and reconnection and second chances and luck. And the connection in it is partly between two youngish people who have lost their spouses and meet each other, but it's also their connection to spirituality. And they're of different religions, but they connect to each other and to their own version of God in different ways. And they also connect through sex, so that's also part of it. And it's also two particular actors, but it was during the beginning of the pandemic. And can you guys still hear me? I'm getting a message that my internet is unstable. Am I in and out? Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. So I wrote it for two particular actors. And I really, as much as I was happy that something could be done on Zoom, and there was no theater in person at that point, I really didn't want the Zoom boxes, connecting with each other. I wanted two people who could touch, because it's such an intimate play. There needs to be touching in it. So I had it done initially with these two actors who actually could be in the same Zoom box with each other. Anyway, so intimacy is important to the play, and I'll shut up now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dana. That's really cool to hear.
Oh, and I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, the chemistry like leaps off the page with these two characters reading the show. And I'm so excited personally knowing the two actors because I feel like they're going to do a really great job. I see the smirk on Jake's face right now. Abby's not here, but I would love to introduce the director. David, I don't believe is here, right, Argo? I was just searching the Zoom. Okay, so our director, David Yen, he is not here at the moment, but we do have half the cast, Abby Lee, who was in some of the other shows as well, but she's not here either. But we have Jake Turner, who will be playing, he will be in the show. So Jake, do you have anything you want to say? Or maybe you can introduce yourself and replace it for David?
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm Jake Turner. I'm a Santa Rosa local. And it's going to be my first project with Left Edge, but I'm really excited, and I love the play, Dana. It's awesome, and I'm very excited to work on it, and excited to be doing theater in person again. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, next we have Slow Dating, which is written by Adam I just realized we worked with him last year, and I actually don't know how to say his last name. Zurich. It has an interesting spelling. Adam, I don't believe, is here. He had let me know he might not be able to attend. He's Australia-based. He actually was in the festival with us last year in a gorgeous piece, and this year is no exception. He also submitted a one-person show that I'm going to be directing. And it's a beautiful story of an older woman who goes to a speed dating event for seniors, and she kind of goes without knowing really why she's going. She just kind of goes on a whim and ends up meeting a very charming senior man, and so the play is a short play. It's a brief about her experience going to this and meeting somebody, and it's not really a twist, and he does say it in the middle of the show, but you find out later that her husband she's been married to for over 50 years either has dementia or Alzheimer's, something significant where doesn't have all of his faculties. And so it's about this woman trying to, I think, process what she is doing, which is her husband has given her the permission to set her free and say, live your life. And this is kind of her first moment, I think, that she's actually tried to do something like that. It's very flirtatious and fun and so cute and makes me tear up every single time I get to the end. And it's going to be starring Kimberly Callenber, who is with us. Kimberly, I know Adam's not here, but if you want to share anything, please do. Kimberly's so charming in it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Thanks. This piece is exceptional in terms of the writing and the flow, and the ending, which is very unexpected. The ending is kind of kicks you in the butt, and it's really wonderful. So I'm very excited and privileged to do it. And Paige is already brilliant from the first rehearsal. That's so weird that you would be. And I'm thrilled. It's a really lovely monologue for, to take the audience on the journey. So I'm excited about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Kimberly. Okay, next up we have a play called Namaste by Lindsay Brown. I think Lindsay is here, also from a similar part of the world to Adam. Lindsay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm from Auckland, New Zealand. It's Monday here, Monday afternoon for us. Hot, but my piece is called Namaste. It's quite ridiculous, but I just had fun doing it. It's the internal monologue of when you're in a yoga class. I know that I have the time frame of a goldfish, the memory span of a goldfish. And so it's just the idea of trying to do the yoga and trying to think you can relax and be at one with the world and yourself when you just can't. And so, yeah, it was just fun. It was just meant to be fun.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm also going to be directing that play, so I'm doing the two kind of one-woman shows. And Abby, who is also in the God part, she's not here, but she's going to be acting and doing the voiceovers. So Abby, last year we did a play with her. I directed where she played 3 different characters that were recorded and not so. I guess the twist at the end was that she had played all of the parts because she is a voice actor and very good at what she does. And so she's going to be doing the teacher and the inner monologue and the girl on the stage. And it's going to be really, really fun to work with her. Lindsay, what I really loved about your play was that exactly what you said. Like, I think reading so many plays, when I got to yours, I just was like cracking up. Like, I was laughing so hard reading it, and it was a really good like palate cleanser, I think, and just something that's like keeps it really light, but also we live in like a day and age, especially if you have Instagram, if you're on social media, that's such a like self-care and like and just kind of like all of that, and mindfulness is such a big thing. I think that people like to talk the talk of all the time, and then like actually doing it, I think, is another story. And I don't know, I just love this character, the idea of being in a yoga class and you have to be present, but this woman is anything but. And I had a lot of fun reading it. So yeah. And since I'm the only representative for that show, Abby can't speak, but we might email you with some questions as we get started in the next couple of weeks.
Great.
Okay, and then next we have Deep Breath by Greg Vovos. Greg?
Sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm coming to you live from Cleveland, Ohio on the North Coast. I'm really excited to be working with Left Edge again. I was privileged to do so last year, and it was definitely one of the highlights of my year last year was working with my great team on the play, and then seeing and meeting everyone. I think you guys are just a great group of people, and I was like one of the other playwrights said, when I got the news that my play was selected, I was so pumped. I was walking out of playwriting class I teach, and I was like, yes! It was really cold here, but it like warmed my heart in the best way, so I'm really pumped. I wrote the play off the prompt. I always love the prompts that I get from Left Edge because they get me thinking in ways I don't normally think. And I was like, man, I wish Left Edge would just send me prompts all the time. And I took their prompt, and then I don't know if it was the next weekend or something, I went down to Columbus, Ohio to see a football game. I hadn't been to Ohio State. I was going back to my alma mater to see a game, and with a buddy of mine, we were out late the night before, just kind of on this kind of weird, trippy evening, and ended up in this bar, and this woman started just like talking to us, like saying the oddest things, like she was oddly just open, I don't know, like just like, my friend's like, it seems like she's almost not human the way the things she's saying to us. Like she's never been here before. And I was like, and just the more I thought of this woman, and then in relation to the prompt, I was like, oh my God, like this is what we're all like, because it felt like she was trying to learn about humanity again. Like, how do I fit into this world that I haven't been a member of for so long? And I'm like, yeah, that's what connects all of us, right? Now that things were at that time opening up again, and like, how do we connect, And so I wrote this play. It's a lot of fun. There was I got to explore my I like bits of absurdism in plays, so it allowed me to do that in a kind of cool and fun way. And my main character, Petal, she, I think I might explore her in a full length. So I'm thinking that this short play will be one of a series of plays that I hope will become a full length. So we'll see what happens. Usually when I hope for that to happen, it doesn't, but I feel good about this one. So we'll see. And so I'm just really excited to be with you, great group of artists, writers, directors, actors, and crew and designers alike. So thank you for welcoming me again.
Welcome back, Greg. We're so happy to have you again, and I love that was the inspiration for it. And we are very lucky to have the amazing Serena direct. Serena, she like zeroed in on your plays when we were reading and talking about them. So I know Serena's excited. Serena, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Serena, and I sent Greg an obscene chat message at the start of this meeting, but I'm so fucking excited to direct this. And I was on the play reading committee, and as Paige said, this is one of the pieces that I was like, I got it. I got it. And I was like, I need to be in this. Whoever directs this, I'm going to like advocate for myself. And I was like, I think I need to direct this. No, I want to be in it. I should do both. I'm like, no, you're not doing both. You're doing one or the other. And so I'm very excited to direct this. And super excited that my old buddy Jake is going to be in the cast, and our other cast member isn't here right now. But yeah, Paige wrote it in the chat that like, it's really, this piece that you wrote, Greg, is just, it's really deep, and it for me, it was so profound, and then also really quirky and also really psychedelic in this very abstract way. It's just like the way that it makes my mind feel, and I'm totally here for that. So thank you for writing it, and thank you to Left Edge for letting me direct it.
Yeah, what you just said, Greg, about this woman that approached you at the bar that was just talking like about being like, is this woman from this planet? Is this like, I got that clearly from reading this play, and I just love that idea so much. Yeah, as Serena said, 50% of the cast. Caitlin is not here with us right now, but Jake is. Jake, if you have anything to add, please do. No pressure.
Not much more than that's already been said. Greg, this is an amazing piece. It's very, very funny and quirky and kind of takes you by surprise, and I'm really excited. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, and then moving on to the last show, which is kind of a special event for the festival, is a play called Zoom. So topical in many ways, written by Joe Nelms. I think I saw your name. Yep, I see you there. Joe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Well, first of all, these sound great. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your work. That's awesome. I'm calling in from all the way downtown in New York City. It's my first time working with Left Edge, and I'm really happy to be here. So thank you for having me. I wrote Zoom in the darkest days of the pandemic as sort of a response to the stress of COVID and the loneliness and the lack of connection that it sort of forced on all of us, or a lot of us anyway. I was lucky enough to be stuck in an apartment with my wife and daughter, and we all got along, and it's great, but I know that didn't happen for everybody, and it was still tough. So it's basically Zoom's like a monologue from your Zoom program. So this is Zoom has seen us all at our best and our worst and everything in between, and so it's kind of it's like a hopeful reminder that this thing isn't going to last forever, and while it does, thanks to Zoom, none of us has to be alone, and there's hope, so stay strong. It's kind of my love letter to humanity. So you're welcome.
Thank you, Joe. It's so funny. Argo, we have Argo here directing it with David Yen. David's not here, but Argo, please introduce, or you've already heard from you, but please,
Sure.
if you'd like to say a couple words on the show.
Yeah, Joe, thank you for your play.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Uno momento, por favor. Thank you for your play, Joe. Yeah, we read it and loved it. And though it was sort of shorter than what the format was, we thought, well, it's too special to pass up on. So we figured out ways to utilize it for the promotional aspects of the show. And hopefully either Paige has got some plans for either the teaser at the beginning or a trailer at the end. And then David Yen has some really great ideas about, he's just like, well, what if I put a green suit on my entire body and it's always changing what you see, but the background's the same as opposed to what normally happens in a Zoom room. But the words are just good enough that I'm a little worried that will be too distracting, but we'll find out. But right from the beginning, I am Zoom. No, really, the program, Zoom. And and what a year we've been in for. So thank you for your love letter. I'm looking forward to working on it with you.
I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Awesome. Well, we've made it through the list in a pretty short amount of time. I thank you everybody for coming. I mean, I'm down to hang out if anybody has any questions and wants to stick around. I don't want to keep anybody, but I think this is always just a nice opportunity to see people's faces, see the people that's going to take the show and run with it, and also see who, wrote the play. We're really excited. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. You all have my email if there are any questions that come up. It's really nice to see all of your faces. And I'm excited to see what happens with the festival. It's going to be really, really fun.
Thank you, Paige.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Thank you for organizing this.